Hello everybody, welcome to today's video where I'm actually going to try and make sure this time it works. I was a complete fool. Okay, I think I got it. Audio seems pretty clear. What's the chat basis? We'll say yen. How fast does this come in? Okay, it comes in moderately quick. Do I need to back up my microphone a bit? Hello. Okay, yeah, this feels about right. I think I'm going to be doing everything now. Okay, everybody, welcome to today's video, where I need to fix up my entire setup. We're going to take a pause because I instantly realized I need my coffee, otherwise I'm screwed. Because I plan on recording till 1 AM. So give me a minute. Okay. Here. Did they finally update it? Let's go! Okay, so we're gonna go through ideas because you guys deserve some format of a spoiler of what's hopefully to come, or at least what I'm hoping comes. So I want you guys to, and I do lean closer to this side than I do to this side, because this, I love working with like darker, more moodier colors. I know, and I'm not an emo or any of that. I actually love being joyful, but I find it so much cooler to work with the darker, more evil looking colors. And then this side, this is like my Sky Nation type side. This is where it would be like heavenly. This is insanity right here. This, I don't even know what this is. I sort of counted this as like the Amethyst or Love District when I thought of it. But yeah, no, this is one of the future plans. And the biggest thing after this is what the original looked like for the dome asteroid that I made. looks a lot worse. But I will say, when I worked down here, I did like that. So I might, if I ever go to like a bigger series with people, I might attempt to make this, except do a lot better. And here's the biggest spoiler. It is not finished. It's nowhere near finished because I got so much more. So, but yeah, no, this is the biggest sneak peek that I'll probably ever give. This is, and I do work, this is like, I work on it with my free time. So it's either my free time I use on either streaming or preparing for the next big build. And this is definitely a lot bigger than anything I've attempted so far. And it's not even putting into the factor that about every block around here that isn't this or that or this, and this is just like a basic SketchUp. This isn't even like the actual thing. But where the grass is, that's meant to be nylium. It's like a bluish kind. So oh yeah, go one of these guys. And then this is a sneak peek of what that floor is gonna look like. Oh, there it is. There's my sensitivity. Sorry, yeah, no, I've had just like something that needed to be done. I But yeah, no, so I would say that this is a good starting off point. And something that I have realized is this is technically the end of season 1. Not the end of the world, though. It is not the end of this entire server, but it is... I guess it isn't, actually, until I finish this. Everything in this orb. Or in this asteroid. But we are technically nearing the end of season 1. I don't know how long we have left. I don't know if it's going to be an entire other 8 episodes or what, but we are coming close to ending the series, so gotta sort of move all this. This is the part I'm dreading most. I know it's the most minor amount of redstone, but I'm going to just build it first, and then, actually, I have no chickens. I just technically need to move all of it. Did I not have steak in my inventory? How do I not have steak in my inventory? That is like the most common item I carry. That's probably why I was around that area when I spawned it in, because I was going down to get steak. If I'm not mistaken, steak used to be called cooked beef. Or I'm just wrong. In that case, I'm wrong. Not much I can do about it. So now that that sneak peek was given, you kind of have an idea on what I'm planning. So now that there's somewhat of idea, well, how do I put this idea into effect? The majority of this would be switching this to netherrack. Probably switching all this to netherrack, mixing it to cobblestone, then stone. The reason I would be doing that is just mainly due to it being red from direct impact, then slowly cascading into cobblestone, because cobblestone's a good similar looking middle ground, then starts to curve into stone. Because stone is the base form of cobblestone. Cobblestone looks like broken stone, and netherrack looks like cobblestone with a red shader. Oh no. And then dirt, I'm still contemplating if I get rid of it or not. And then I want to try and increase the size of the edges. So make these edges look just like that, similar to that or sharp. Or closer to that actually. I would say closer to that. Like that cavern right there, gonna look the same. That one's gonna look similar. Right here, I never really walk through here besides to get to here, and I can always move this in there. So make it sort of like that side, because it's pretty repeating over there. Until you hit this portion, it stops repeating. And I do mostly blame myself for that, because I think I did do a lot to destroy it. So I will be changing it, mixing it up. Okay. And so, if we do that correctly, we should be able to have it work. My brain's not working. So, first let's see where we get with this much blackstone. Because I'm not just going to place down blackstone. I'm going to kind of try and switch it up, see, and... No, not switch it up. That was terrible verbiage. I'm going to try and... You do this. Yes, perfect. I can use this. Use the blackstone, craft them into slabs with the stone cutter. And then use that stone, use those half slabs to make the bottom not look so small and the top area look a bit better. And where'd it go? Is it on me? I don't remember having it on me. It's not on me. That's weird. Oh, there it is. What's my E button? Oh, okay, that's my sword button. No wonder I was so confused. Now we're gonna cut you into slabs. And we'll see where those how far those slabs get us. Because the second I get over there, I sort of gotta deconstruct it. And I guess I do have it going excessively. Actually, I don't think I made it excessive enough. So... Okay, now... And the oldest news. I guess the news I had at the time is now pretty much dead. Or just well known. But the news I had at the time was Slim Shady or Eminem suing a company for the factor that they were using the company. Oh, he was suing an Australian swimsuit company called Swim Shady, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if this was like, oh, it's just a joke, or oh, but by my knowledge, or at least what I know, which could be practically nothing, he is suing this company because it has a similar, almost exact name to one of his alter egos through rap world. And he does not like that because I would understand from his position is it feels like they're using his title to try and make people think that he created it, is what I would think he would be going through his mind. Then again, I'm not Eminem. I have no clue whatever goes through that man's mind. I love his music, but that does not mean I know everything about his life. Yeah, man. See, you love this. You get more space. You get to organize. Actually, you know what? That gives a decent amount of space for certain things. It's actually not looking too bad. I kind of do regret that I put it right here for the start, because it does kind of get in the way when you walk in. Richard, where are you, Richard? But that entire scenario does somewhat make me question what lengths people would go to for to keep a title to themselves, or to keep a semblance of owning something that they haven't used in a long time. And yes, I think he's used it in a few songs recently, but besides that, he's not really went by that title in a while. And I don't know if he's trademarked it. Actually, he probably did. Issue is what do you... be applicable though, because what is what he is technically suing for is for the fact that it sounds relatively close to his brand name, his rapper name, or one of his aliases. Would he be in the right to sue him for that? I would say, with my understanding of law, which is almost nothing, or very little, I would say he can't necessarily sue for that. And the only real argument that I can really make to cover that is the fact that it is not his name. Yes, it sounds similar, yes, you can try and make that argument that they were taking his name, but I don't think that's like someone making a name called 25 cents and then 50 Cent trying to sue for that, which, if I'm not mistaken, 50 Cent is dead, so that is a weird and bad eulogy for it, but it's like during his time, if someone made a clothing brand called 50 or a store named 59 Cent, would he then have the legal ability to sue them? Because if he's given the right to sue at them, if he is able to sue for this, that sort of makes it a bit harder on brands, due to the factor that if a brand has a name similar to someone, they'll be able to sue them, and that can badly affect the business, especially if they're just a small business starting up. If they were using his name and his brand completely to try and get people to buy in, that would be understandable. I would agree with him on suing. But the fact that it's just, by my knowledge, it's just a similar name, is sort of where it trips me up. Because technically, in a legal stance, he is not allowed to sue. And the fact that he is not allowed to sue he shouldn't be able to sue, would provide protection to people that are just trying to start a business and think that something sounds good. Now, could those people have had bad intentions? Yes, they could have. I'm not denying it. I'm not trying to be like, oh, they're completely... No, they could have had the intention to use his name brand as a method to gain more clout. Did they, though? I have no clue. I'm not a mind reader. I can't tell. I haven't dug too deep into the system for this. So for me, it is literally just questioning, will it work? Or if he gets this through, this could poorly affect a lot of people due to what the falling out pretenses would advise. They would advise that you can sue if someone's brand is similar to your name. If you're a rapper, you can sue if someone, and most likely win if someone's brand is similar to your names or your ideals. And if you do that, it's not really within a good distance. Yeah, but... Oh, wait, that felt weird. Just now. Yeah, no, my schedule doesn't really allow me to do stuff in the morning. So we'll get this. I have wanted to get into speedrunning, but I've also wanted to get into more... How do I put it? I wanted to get more into other video games that aren't just Minecraft. I am a big horror game enthusiast. I believe if you can make a good horror game, lean full into it. Yes, it's not the smartest thing to say, but love your ambition. Don't be excessive. Don't be necessarily pushy. Just, if you love it, try. If you're okay without it, you don't need to worry as much. I've just seen somewhat of not a lack, but I feel like there's less horror content that's had actual thought put behind it, or time. It's always missing, normally missing something. Like, I feel like, especially with AI being a thing now, the fact that people are using it to try and create shortcuts to make as much money as possible, instead of trying to provide a good experience that's worth the money paid for, is first it's like stupid and obnoxious to mostly create an idea or assist a game that costs money but provide almost no good story. And there was a Three Scary Game video that I played a while ago, where the Joker one, it's like, yes, don't make it. Then again, I was playing the hardest, a hard difficulty, but I feel like the game shouldn't be, because it looked like, genuinely, it felt like they were trying to recreate Granny's house. Or Granny. From, oh gosh, is that 2013? Or 2015? No, it can't have been that long ago. But that was probably around the time when all the good horror games are coming out. People put time, idea into it. Or at least they worked off of a process. And I feel like if you at least did it or attempted to, maybe you would see a bit more success. Yes, you would need to advertise the living daylights out of it, but it would be picked up by someone famous eventually. And it's not eventually as in 5 years. It's like if you make a good game and you advertise it just on YouTube once with a good enough trailer to pique someone's interest, or just pique anybody's interest or everybody's. If you do that, you have a good system set up. I will say that. Because what I've noticed about a lot of games nowadays, and I think what really lit it up for me was... Is it a gacha games? What I'm probably thinking of is more on the aspect of what's it called? I'm thinking about what is it? What was the game? Genuinely. And this game left an entire stain on my memory. Cause they fell off really bad. Oh, Genshin Impact. And to me it feels like they did somewhat lead the way to the failure of the system they made, which was their game. Because originally what it felt like is they preferred the game over anything else. They didn't care about much, but they cared if their game was fun. The storyline to them was a lot, felt like it meant a lot to them. And now it feels like they just threw it away for money. And wait a minute. I thought there was a loading screen. But now it feels like they kind of threw it away, stopped caring about it. And to me, I want to say it died off. I know it didn't, but personally, I feel like it died. Because they stopped, or at least I haven't seen a major advertisement for it in a while. And I could just be left out of the loop on this one. They could have been advertising the hoo-wah out of it, and I just missed the bullet somehow. But it feels more to me they went more on the but if I was to give probably want a genuine and I don't want to say fanfic. It's not fanfic. That's not the word I'm looking for. It feels like they went for big assets, or what's it called? It's a term used for anime. When they it's like extra, or well, genuinely, what is it? Because I know anime does it a lot, and it's not only anime, but fan service. That's what it is. That's what I think it is. I feel like they've put, because what it feels like right now is that they've put a lot of fan service characters in compared to what there used to be. When I feel like it used to be more on the, oh, they built this very nice character. The character looks pretty regular. Character seems to have extremely cool abilities, has a great lore background. Now, every time I see something about that game, it's always, oh, woman with, or, yeah, no, it always seems to be a woman. I wish I could say guy. But it's always woman with big assets, download the game, try and get it for free. And it kinda disgusts me. And I say kind of, it very much disgusts me. That's where that took a turn to. yes, you can make the argument that, oh yeah, recently they've started playing or putting out newer characters. Characters that are less fan service. When, to me, it feels like they've lost all formatting content and now they're just trying to meet the overly sexualized demographic parts. And personally, I don't like that. That feels like it fell off. To me, it feels like it's ruined its reputation of it being a game that focused primarily on lore. And they're trying to hold on to whatever they got left by creating these characters that for some reason excel beauty standard or achieves the turn on for people. It's not man only. If it was man only, then because the thing about saying, oh, it's a man only thing where they're trying to make women look hot to appeal to the male no, you can't really make that argument anymore, because I've literally talked to quite a few females that say, yeah, no, they mostly play just because cute, hot females are in the game. And I'm not really there for that. I miss when games, yes, I know it's not all practically all games have very out there images or things for women. I'm not saying this is the only game. No, there's been games since dawn the hell of time. It's just to see a game like them that used it every now and then and now is using it every day. And I wouldn't have mind if they still kept to lore and still tried to make their lore not applicable. I feel like that's the wrong word to use here. If they just tried to keep lore aspects into it, or tried to still keep some lore, or make something out of it, I would still have respect for them. But at the moment, they've currently lost practically all respect for me when they made it a game that's heavily based on looks. Bedrock really is a lot harder compared to Java. Hey, child. Hi. I'm sorry, child. You're not allowed to be here. Yeah, but that's kind of where I stand on that game at the moment. I really used to love it, though. Like, I genuinely was a part of the group that, like, I wasn't a part of the game. I never really, I played it, never got into it too well. Because to me it felt, it was a good game, I'm not gonna lie. The idea of the game, the aspects, all that was beautiful. But But besides that, I think that's where I currently stand on it. It's a game that I feel like fell off, and they fell in the worst way I can think of. But, yeah, no, there. If I was to... most of this has just been ramblings. And I guess that's what the majority of this episode is. If I did have some fun on my break, I did end up going on a break to Texas. Yeah, to meet some family. And I will say, it was fun. I have not had a break in a while, and it felt good to just get out of where I live, relax, and just live through life. Because I feel like I've felt stuck. Or just like I'm meant to be here and never leave, and I'm stuck and I'm not doing anything with my life. It's genuinely just me wanting to just fix it up, do better. And I like that idea. If I was to move anywhere though, probably wouldn't be Texas. Never even close. I have no clue where I would move to though. I'm currently happy in the area I reside in at the moment, but I am not saying I'm never gonna leave. Because to me, I might leave. I love my family, but I also sort of want to get out there a bit. And if I can do that, I'll feel a bit better. I don't want to be the person that's 30, stuck in their mom's basement. It's not what I want to be in life. And I'm not judging people that are, because there are genuinely some people that need that, because I'll say it, the economy is fucked. Genuinely. I wish it wasn't as bad as it was. And everyone likes to throw fingers, everyone likes to point hands at everybody. Genuinely, though, it's... since I could remember. And it's gotten slightly better. I'm not gonna say it hasn't. It has. It's just not hit enough to go back to the way prices felt originally. Because the prices in my area are still insane. And I think the biggest reason, and it could be, I have no clue at the moment, but I would say one of the biggest reasons it hasn't changed is the fact that the second we started to lower prices, we got hit with a bunch of tariffs. Or a bunch of tariffs were hit that increased prices all over us, the area, just to get stuff ordered here. So, I would say it's partially to do with a lot of people's faults. It's not just the current president, it's the fact that people were like shop owners are still too worried to lower the prices because they were worried that they would lose money, and then what ended up happening sort of caused them to believe that they shouldn't lower, and it set out this entire system of if they're too scared, they were too scared to lower it, they're not able to lower it now until all this stuff settles, which could take over 30 to 40 years at max. I'm not gonna say minimum, but who says they will switch back? Let's be realistic here. The company will practically think it's normal, and they won't regulate the prices back, which could actually give way to smaller companies kicking in, and smaller companies making a lot more money off of these off of this moments. Now, I'm not saying this is all happening right now. This is more of my prediction. Because if you know one thing about big companies, they love money. And if there is a way to scam you out of it, they'll do it. Oh, that's weird. Also, kind of beautiful thing to happen. But I don't want to make my channel revolve off of all this. I personally have no preference in any governmental stances. But I will say, the people that say, oh, if you don't vote then you don't have the right to complain, those are the most incorrect fucking people on this planet. Those dumb... if you genuinely believe that, that's... And the only thing I can think of that's similar, but it's such an excessive push out, is saying, how do you know the no, that... This is matter of opinion, not matter of stance. It would be... all the ideas or perspectives I can think about are excessive, or a lot pushed out compared to saying that. But genuinely, if you're a person that says, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain, I would say if you did vote, you have no right to complain, would be the exact same stance, but they would feel like they should have the right to complain because they voted. If you make that argument and say, oh, because you didn't want to do it, no, there are thousands of reasons someone couldn't have voted. Someone literally couldn't... hell, I wouldn't have voted for anybody this year because of how pathetically weak the arguments were, and how it looked like the people that were doing it weren't gonna do jack of what they said. Because it's happened quite a lot of times where presidents don't do what they promise to do. So, the fact that there are people that say, oh, if you don't vote, you can't complain. That is saying, and I'm gonna try, I'm not good with eulogies or analogies, but I feel like that's quite similar to... No, because that one's true. That one definitely is true, I will say that. And that's why I need to do videos of like recordings. But what would genuinely be a similar stance on this? Oh my Sorry, I ended up spilling my coffee on my desk and keyboard. But now that I've had time to cool down a bit, or at least think a bit better, I would say a probably better analogy for it would be saying if you broke a... Saying... Okay, yeah, no, I think I found one. And it's probably gonna be very crappy, but it's the best one I can currently think of. Saying if someone broke an arm, it's not the same thing as breaking the other arm. It's like... It's like saying they can't say they feel the same pain as them. Yeah, sure, everybody experiences pain in a different way, but saying that they, just because they broke their right arm, they don't understand the pain of the left arm. It it makes zero sense. Why you feel like so just because someone doesn't do something or did, it's like you can understand. I guess it would be someone that hasn't broken a bone trying to sympathize with someone trying to say that, oh, you haven't broken that bone, so you have no clue what it's like. Yes, on one hand, you do have no clue, but on the other hand, you have an idea of what it's like. You can try and sympathize on a similar hand where you're living in the same reality. You can see what they're seeing, you know what they're doing. So making, the argument that, oh, if you didn't vote, you shouldn't get to complain about it, or you can't complain about it, is the most inverse, dumb response I've ever heard to someone saying they don't want to vote, or they're not much of a person to pick a side. Because that's how I am. I don't pick sides. I follow facts, evidence, or I try to follow facts, evidence, and choose off of that. If I feel like there's more evidence leaning to a more correct standby, then I would follow more. And the fact that everyone is just so far to the right, so far, there's no declarative yes or no. And I hate that everybody's or dislike, I would say is a better term. I dislike that so many people are like, oh, literally, I have a chunk of family, or a bit of family, someone in my family, to be specific, one person, that they refuse to move to where I live because of what side the majority of people here lean on, or what their governmental belief is, or the majority, quote unquote, which majority really doesn't ever mean much. Well, it means something. I'm not going to say it doesn't mean much. That's incorrect. It means something, it's just not representing of everybody, because everyone has different facts, everyone has different opinions. But they refuse to move here because of what way the government here is. Because they're trying to base it all on one fact. Even though... So it's just that. It's like, okay, they say that and I'm just... Because after I heard that, I was like, what kind of way of thinking is that? And it just felt so weird to hear that they refuse to move here because of that one fact. And that kind of gives an idea on how bad this split economy has separated us. Because United States meant to be all together. United States. Every state is meant to unite under one flag of conservation. No. Where's the... It's the weirdest thing ever. I just wish it wasn't as... To see how much this affects family and families in general feels sickening. That so many people base off of how they feel about the government. That they're willing to push people away, push areas of idea of beautiful living away. Like, they didn't care that the area I live in has... It's like moderately safe. We rarely get tornadoes, we don't really get disasters too often. We're okay. And they refuse to move here only due to that one factor. Yes, I understand, it could just be they don't want to do other things and that's their biggest thing. But the way they made it sound felt like they were talking only about that fact. That they would have moved over, if anything else, if it wasn't like this. And I feel weird about that. Because it did teach me a bit that how far people will go just to continue their belief in their side of the government. Or their portion. Because you have one side that's all, oh yeah, no, we do this, we did this, we did that. And then you have the other side that's more on the other end of it, where it's like, let's give, let's be kind, it just doesn't match. Because originally, or when I see most things, you were able to have your opinion and you were able to be okay with it. That was somewhat of the ideal stance that there was meant to be. You can have your opinion and still live together. But people have taken it so far that they refuse to do anything if it goes against the side they're on. And we aren't really the United States anymore, is what it feels like. Because I feel like it was originally meant to be is we were able to put aside our differences, anything that really separated us excessively to help each other. And now it doesn't even feel like that's a thing. And that does kind of... I feel like it's kind of depressing. Oh great, today was a depressing video. I don't like that. I wish I had a joke. Normally I do. It sucks that I don't have one today. I'm a lot more funnier with people that are a lot more positive. I will say that I end up doing a lot better when I have others to talk to. I don't get all inquisitive and questiony on all this. I don't seem as weird. It's just you put me in a situation where I have to think of something to be entertaining. Because I've effectively already explained the majority of what I'm doing, or what I have planned so far. So it's just talking about things I've experienced recently. And I feel like that still bizarres my mind. But I accept them for their decision. If that's something they want, I'm not gonna argue with them. If that's what stops them from doing certain things, fine. Okay. For me, I don't care about anything other than who you are as a person. And I think that's something that is forgotten. Is that people are people. And if you treat it's like celebrity. I guess my best explanation in this scenario is celebrities. And it's the factor that people will get mad if a celebrity doesn't meet the standard that that person puts on them. And I don't like that idea. Because if you force the idea that, oh, if you don't meet our exact opinions or state of minds, you don't need your position. No. They got their position for being who they are. For being a part of them and who they wanted to, what they wanted to do. Fluffy, or I will say a comedian I enjoy watching or listening to recently, or not even recently, but had gotten, let's say, a bad show of light within the statement of he was being, yes, I want to say unruly. But the issue with saying that, oh, he's such a bad person. No, it is just a guy being a guy. Everyone's gonna have an off day. No one's perfect 100% of the time, and if you hold them to the standard that it seems like everyone's holding celebrities to nowadays, where they have to do so many things exact to the tone and note, that everything every day they have to be the exact 100% perfect. It feels, I would say, if you hold them to that standard, you're a hypocrite. Because you never have 100% exact perfect days. No one does. Life is never going to always hit the same notes twice. And yes, could he have acted better? Most definitely. But people still need to remember he is a human. Not every day he has a good day. And nobody knows where his mental state was at the time. He could have been having the worst week of his life. Stuff could have happened to him. But all the people that day saw was a very mad celebrity that they started to hate. And yes, I don't have the full view on it. I will gain the full view eventually. It's just the way I heard my pops explain it, because I did hear it from him, and I do want to do better research on it to see what all happened. But by what I heard, it was a guy that was having a particularly off day. Something could have went wrong for him. Something could have happened, and he got upset and showed up and wasn't able to put on the mask. And I think that, because I've seen a few of his videos, yeah, I don't know him personally, but so much could have included into that small thing that could have caused anything to happen. He could have been having a bad day, someone important in his life could have passed away, he was not in the mood. Genuinely anything could have happened. And especially in this year, where you gotta be so careful because you don't know how anybody's gonna act to anything. It's just... it's weird. I don't really know how to react to it. Because he was a comedian I loved listening to. I liked his content, or at least I liked some of his jokes. And yes, he could have been being too big for... he could have been getting too big from how he was. Or who he was as a person. And I would not want to ignore that and say, oh no, he was perfect 100% of the time, it's everyone else's fault. I just prefer to think he's a human, he had an off day, and he's getting absolutely clowned on for it. Could you take that within the standpoint of, oh, I'm just trying to make an excuse? Sure, do it. I have no preference in this matter. I just prefer to think that it was a human just being a human. And struggling in life at the moment. Because anything could have happened, or anything could have been done, anything could have been seen, questions could have arose, and sure, yeah, they could have happened, they couldn't have. Maybe he just really decided to show his true colors. Who knows? Like, genuinely, who knows? I can't tell you what happened, I wasn't there. I haven't seen any, like, full-on videos of what happened. I'm waiting to see some. Or at least I'm going to be looking at some eventually. Whenever I can get to it. I just feel like somehow someone jumped a gun. Or somehow something happened. Because for this to be something that happened out of nowhere, or to me feels like it happened out of nowhere, doesn't feel right. Especially with understanding what type of person he is. He's a comedian that prefers having fun, goofing off, messing around, and all that. It's literally just based on what could have happened. Or is this just him finally being done with it all? Because by what I've heard, those when you go on a tour, it gets exhausting for them. It's not just, oh, they're on a picnic. They have things they need to be doing, and so they gotta do those things while showing up to live events, while doing a bunch of other stuff. So it could have literally just been exhaustion got to him finally, because if I'm not mistaken, he did 3 literally back to back. He did 3 tours back to back, which is insanity on that end. And I feel like compared to singers, it is a lot harder for comedians, due to the comedians either retelling the same jokes and having to hope that no one gets sick of them, or them having to find new jokes, think of new jokes while they're still going through stuff. It literally could just be anything at this point. It could have been him having an off day, or like I said, just him being sick of it all and not wanting to do another tour. Man, yes, he was famous and rich, but a lot of the times I feel like people overlook just how draining it is. Even he's had to say, even he said in one of his that every time he would go and do stuff, he would be on the street 20 on a bus 90% of the time, traveling to different areas. And for most people, that can straight up eat at you, especially if you have nothing to do. And it's just a bunch of stuff that I couldn't explain, or don't really have much of an ability to explain. But I do think that's a good area to try and leave today off of. Yeah, I know today was a bit more of a weirder day, perchance, but it was... I had nothing planned. And this is all the stuff I've recently heard about. I'm just disappointed it was mostly sad news. I would have preferred it being a lot happier, a lot more joyful. I would have preferred to hear a lot more better news on, oh yeah, no, we have currently fixed these 5 problems with the Earth. Hopefully next time I show up, I'll have good news. And that's what I want, is to hope I can give out good news compared to the news that I've given out today. Thank you. And I'm tired, so goodbye.